Hi everybody, this is a Boros Arcane Bombardment deck that wants to reuse some of the new instants and sorceries from All Will Be One. Now, to survive long enough to make it all the way up to Arcane Bombardment mana, we've got 2 copies of Burn Down the House to keep the board clear, along with 2 copies of Depopulate, which we can play just a turn earlier. Down on the low end, you'll see some familiar instants and sorceries, so let's talk about some of the new cards first. We've got 1 fun copy of White Sun's Twilight, and this kind of displays the theme for the rest of the deck. So it's a nice flexible X spell in that we gain a little bit of life, but we also create some Mite tokens, which have Toxic 1, and they can't block, but they do give our opponent poison counters. So if we can get this up to where X equals 5, we can wipe the board, but then we get to keep all of the tokens that we create through this spell. So it's kind of nice. Doesn't really work when reusing it with Arcane Bombardment, but it complements the rest of the deck really well. We're playing 4 copies of Charge of the Mites, which was kind of the inspiration for making a Arcane Bombardment deck in these colors. It's a nice flexible spell that lets us go on offense or defense depending on the situation. Our offense in this case being colorless Mite tokens that give our opponent more and more poison counters. Now, for card draw and utility, we've got 4 copies of Union of the Third Path. Mono red is still around, and aggressive decks still want to reduce our life total to 0, so this is very helpful in those scenarios. And we're running 2 of the new card, Vanish into Eternity. This is a nice, flexible instant spell that can exile pretty much anything except a creature, unless we want to pay a little bit more for it. So, pretty good on its own, can get rid of annoying artifacts and enchantments. Even if we get it tucked under Bombardment, it's free, and then we just pay the extra 3 if we need to target a creature with it. So kind of flexible, kind of interesting, and I love that it's an instant so we can activate Bombardment on our opponent's turn. To complement our Mites theme, we're also running 1 copy of Mirrex. This could honestly go up to 2, but it's a nice way to land a threat against control decks and continuously threaten them by just making Mites if we've got not much else going on. So let's get over and see a few games with this deck on the ranked standard ladder. I'll be with you for some commentary, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. All right, let's see if we can make some Mites. Ugh, the shuffler has been unkind to me lately, but I think we can make this work. We've got Play with Fire to get a scry off the top, and I'm going to chance it because we got big score and Bombardment. So the plan here is to Play with Fire the face, unless they do something super dangerous that I haven't seen yet. Okay, red-green. Play with Fire to the face. Lets us take a look at the top. Okay, it's not great, but it's a white source, so we'll take it. That'll set us up for a Union of the Third Path next turn. Hopefully into a land for big score. And then up to Bombardment. Playing 25 lands. Oh, still on Werewolves. Okay. All right, let's get Mirrex down. I do kind of like the mechanic on Mirrex where A, it comes into play untapped, but B, you get to make any color mana you want as soon as it comes down, and then that ability just kind of floats away. All right, so the pups will get larger. They're all still under Burn Down the House range, so let's get a Union going. Don't need to Fateful Absence any one of those just yet. And everybody fits under Depopulate. There's Charge of the Mites. That card caught my eye in the spoilers. Anything with a choose 1 is something that we want to take another look at for Bombardment. All right, the pups activate. Pair of 3/3s coming over. But thanks to that Union, we're still sitting on a good chunk of life. Excellent. Sundown Pass. So those are only going to get bigger. Let's Depopulate now. Excellent, especially when they only have a red mana up. No Tamiyo's safekeeping, no indestructible effects. Oh, what does that one do? Create a wolf creature token, or it gets big. Well, haven't seen a lot of that one, but it's got a respectable body. So let's make sure we do something this turn to keep it from flipping for now. We pick up an Abrade. Okay, need a little bit more mana. Tovolar. So they're going to unfortunately be able to draw a card with this attack. Thanks to their werewolf buddy over there. And we get a thrill. So we've got all the instants. Let's get Bombardment down. And let's go ahead and Abrade Tovolar. Again, while their green is tapped out. That's the color that gives them all their indestructible effects. So let's go ahead and try this now. Just a charge. So let's make some mites. They can't block. The mites creature token mode is really more offensive. It's probably for the best that they can't block from a balance perspective, but for our purposes, that's when we're ready to go on offense. We'll start making mites. So unfortunate that we picked that up first this early instead of some more removal. But we do have a Fateful Absence to deal with this Tovolar as they continue to draw cards with that ability. So we've got Big Score, Depopulate, a Union, and 2 burn spells. Let's see what we pick up here. Okay, Big Score is good. Charge of the mites. Might as well make some more. So we're trying to Fateful Absence Tovolar. These 2 mites can get in that we made last turn. We can start the poison counters going here. I will say, this deck is not entirely poison focused, but it's kind of a nice bonus. Tail Swipe. Decides to take out a mite on his way out. But I will say the poison counter is kind of a nice bonus against life gain based opponents. You kind of saw some of that as a reaction to mono red in the last standard set. And so having poison counters kind of come back in the metagame sort of swings it a little bit more back in aggro's favor as it kind of ignores the life total on its way to victory. Opponent up to 6 mana, still has the Child of Night, or sorry, Child of the Pack. Makes a wolf token with its ability. And goes to get in. Isn't going to draw with that, so let's just wait on this thrill. Bombardment pulls up a Play with Fire. Let's hit that token so the mites can keep doing their work. Big Score away this second Bombardment, and 1 more charge of the mites. If they haven't gotten rid of Bombardment yet, I think we're in an okay spot to keep it around as just a one-of. And as Play with Fire takes out the token, Thrill resolves, shows us a burn down the house and a Fateful Absence. Just waiting on our opponent to pass priority on this clue token activation that we gave them. And we've got enough mana to cast an instant. Should they do something wild here? They do not. All right. So we've got a good chunk of mites, but not enough to finish the game outright. Let's kind of add to the headache here and make some devils. What we might be able to do, yeah, instead of depopulate, I think what we do is Play with Fire the face, charge of the mites, but on the creature mode, not creature mode, the damage mode, I mean, based on the number of creatures. Since even if they take out one of our attacking creatures, or one of our creatures rather, they shouldn't be able to save that. Okay, good. They were hovering. It made me think they had something. No lands more. No more lands needed, excuse me. Lots to keep track of now. Alright, so we got 3 devils, 6 mites. Opponent looking like they want to get rid of one of those. Play with fire comes down. And we will get in. Opponent's still looking at the mites. Alright, I think we can pass it there. Definitely a big teeth theme in all of the All Will Be One art. Not sure how I feel about that just yet. Alright, we can see our opponents all in on the Werewolves plan as that enchantment comes down. They sacrifice the clue, going to look for some action. And this may be too much to handle, too much to come back from. Let's see. Let's see if we can just push it enough over the top with this last charge of the mites. There it is. Good game. The Shuffler again. Let's try another one here. We've got 2 lands, but we've got a Thrill that we can cast. We'll start off with a Battlefield Forge. And we will hit this little guy with a Play with Fire. Another one. Alright, well, we know what our plan is for now. Soul Partition can take that off the board if it starts to get too big. And we do have some Depopulates hiding in here too. Naturalist comes in, and they will commune with the spirits. Yeah, I wonder how this deck holds up with the new All Will Be One cards. We're going to Thrill here. Okay, that land was much needed. We can Union, and that'll buy us some more time, and then we can big score, hopefully drawing some lands in the process on our way to Bombardment. But these creatures can get out of hand. I haven't seen a Kami yet. That's really the one that can be kind of annoying for us to face. Michiko gives a nice bonus over to the Naturalist. We head down to 9, but I think we're going to Union here. Union draws us Mirrex and gives us a nice chunk of life back. Think we can lay this. They're going to hit us again with that Michiko bonus. But we know what it is, so it's going to be a 5/5 again. Okay. Well, I think we can take that. Big score here. We've got Bombardment. We just need a little more mana to get that down and start using it right away. Okay, there's 1 land and a second copy of Bombardment. Haven't seen much removal from our opponent yet, so we may just have to chance a copy here. Otherwise, we can keep up Partition and Abrade. Let's wait until we can do something right away. They usually play Borrowed Time, and I'd like to at least get some kind of secondary effect off of this Bombardment. And we can afford to Union in response to anything they do here. Oh, good. Another Absence. Okay. Alright. Well, now that we've got the mana, we've got the 6 for the Bombardment. We can afford to pay 2 for any of our instants, and let's just go ahead and leave them up. We've got a lot of Unions in the graveyard, and if we can start picking those up, it's just going to be too much for our opponent to handle. Alright, so of course they've got a Boseiju. We might want to activate Bombardment here. Like, we've got a second one, but we kind of need to be doing a little more. Let's attempt to get rid of that spirit. There's a Union to draw a little bit, gain us some life. See, these together will kind of help us survive the next turn, and we will definitely go pull a land out of here. The Gardens we can keep. It's kind of a redraw. At this point, we've got so much mana we can instantly cycle them. Alright, there's a Vanish. Well, we're naturally up to 8 mana, so let's Bombardment again. Try to do the same thing. So no second Boseiju from them, and no borrowed time or anything like that. When it gets in, we're down to 4, and they're at 39. Oh, okay, that was okay. Well, we turned it around. Good game. All right. Well, if there's one thing this deck is teaching me, it's how to navigate 2-land hands with it. Either I need to mulligan better, or I need to stick one more land in here. Ooh, Duelist of Deep Faith. For some reason, when I make the jump from 25 to 26 lands, that's when I start drawing all the lands I need. All right. The Teeth theme comes back. Let's get rid of the double strike poison counter giver. We're at 3 mana. Union is going to be okay here. I see. Heavy poison counter theme in a mono white deck. The Hive looked nice as kind of a callback to Bitter Blossom from days past. We'll see if it's as good. So Union really just going to be a cycler in this matchup, as the life gain not going to be too helpful with poison counters on the board. All right. Well, we pick up this Twilight as the opponent plays the white Dominus. That is the one that doubles. Okay, yep, doubles token production. So opponent will get in with the flyer. Pick up another poison counter. Let's big score. Let's get rid of this Twilight. Yeah, let's get rid of the Mites. That's actually the least useful in the short term. All right, we pick up 2 bombardments, which is great for our long-term plan, but we need a way to survive. So what we might do is burn down the house. Actually running into a red mana bottleneck here. So the opponent's going to have enough mana left over to make their Dominus indestructible. Right, they do have enough to sacrifice to it, so now that's been made indestructible. And so they'll continue to produce double tokens with it. We do have a few things that exile in here, so all is not lost. It's just going to take some tricky navigation. Ah, they really lean into the production theme here. Not just the Hive, but also the wedding invitation. As they pick up 2 humans. No other lands. Let's try to get Bombardment down. And then we'll play this Garden. Okay, Bombardment lands. Opponent down to 3 cards. Could have some white enchantment removal of some kind. Luckily, these Hive tokens don't have haste, otherwise we'd be in huge amounts of trouble. We are at 4 poison counters. Since they attacked with so many, they draw. We pick up a mountain. I think we burn down the house here. Actually, we can White Sun's Zenith. Sorry, not Zenith, Twilight. Too many suns. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will be able to destroy things and leave Mites behind. Sure. Let's do this. We can't play our Union. We don't have enough mana to do that on our opponent's turns. We might as well do the really expensive spell now. Oh, geez, we pick up even more Mites. Well, these Mites I think will die. Yes, and we're just left with the 5 from White Sun's Twilight. Ooh, the Eternal Wanderer.
I've made it just in time.
Only one creature can attack. That is a really solid card. So we can make Samurai. Okay.
Show them the edge of your blade.
All right. Well, that's going to be a lot of tokens. And they're all pumped up as the wedding announcement flips. All right. Well, let's get in with everybody. They can block some of our mites. Oof. Feels bad, but I think we've got to burn down the house here. Keep some control of this board and trust in Bombardment to build up and maybe get us some kind of overwhelming advantage. Let's see. Burning down the house, so I think Charge of the Mites doesn't really matter here. Alright, but that burn down the house does get rid of the Wanderer. And we picked up a little bit of life from the Union that we've now got under Bombardment. Opponent's still making double creature tokens over there. Ouch. Okay, this could be good. They name Bombardment. Okay. Let's see, we have 2 burn down the house. So our chances of 1 in 5 of accidentally picking up that White Sun's Twilight in there. What to hit with this? There's a Fateful Absence and a big score. Looks like our opponent's checking out our graveyard as well. Alright, so debating whether or not to point this at the face or at the creature. I think we go creature. Let's discard this other Bombardment. Union and the Mites. We pick up 2 lands and a Thrill. Well, we've got enough mana. Let's cycle this. Really need to see some more cards here. Got to try to exile this Dominus eventually. Let's get a mountain down. You know, I was saying we really don't need this forge. Okay, so we pick up Burn Down the House. Mites, let's make some more mites. Union for sure. Big score on this Plains. And let's just burn down the house on damage. Keep the board manageable. At some point we might be able to transition over into creature token making instead of board control. But we still just pick up lands. Alright, we do have a Soul Partition. We might be able to do a trick where we can exile the Dominus temporarily and try to deal with it on a board where they can't activate its ability again. Ooh. Shield of Argive, huh? Well, this kind of forces our hand. We need to do something now. As soon as that lands, we can't respond anymore. So let's activate Bombardment here. We get another Burn Down the House. Okay. And they've got 2 mana left. I think if we kind of lean on the tokens now, we might be able to sneak one in here. Big score. Union. Probably should reverse that order. But it's fine. Big score gets us another charge. 6 devils, 4 Mite tokens, and they're at 9 life. If this comes down, we can't do anything else. Let's get some more mites going, and we can save our removal for our turn. Oh, and those mites can't block, so it's just Mirel here. Or Mirel. Oh, all right. Well, the token plan worked. Good game. All right. We're going to start off with yet another two-lander for this deck. Play with Fire. Really coming in clutch as a control card as it lets us see the top card of our deck. Battlefield Forge, not the best, but we'll take it in this scenario. Infantry comes down, but we have no way to address it just yet, so we're on the Union of the Third Path plan. Hopefully they don't have enough action to get it out of range of this burn down the house. You've got me curious, though. A red-green Spellslingery themed deck. Oh, it could just be counters. Okay, with the Kodama coming down. No way to activate it, so no ability there. Let's Union. We pick up a Jaya and a land. We could Jaya, but any counters and all of those things get trampled, so let's go ahead and just big score. Yep, I think the second big score. And, no. Probably should have discarded that land. That's fine. So Jaya can't really defend herself well against tramplers. And we're planning on working towards a burn down the house anyway, so Jaya doesn't make sense in that scenario. Let's do this now. They haven't been playing much else. Okay, thankfully no safekeeping. No pump spells. Opponent doesn't know it, but we are effectively down to one card, so kind of depending on Jaya to pull us out of this one. Jaya is going to come down. Let's start with monks. We could take a look at the top two, but I'd rather increase her loyalty and save that ability for next turn when we have enough mana to possibly play Bombardment if we pull that off the top. Magma Pummeler, that's a new one. So if it takes damage, it removes counters and then does that much damage. Let's cycle this away. Play with Fire. And some more removal. Okay. Well, until Bombardment gets here, this could be a monk plan. Yep, I think this is right. If we play with Fire, yeah, the monk gets Prowess, and so they can't ping it for one on the way out. Probably going to throw that at, yep, Jaya. All right. A few monks here could really get out of hand fast. We've got some removal if they get anything bigger. Okay, a little bit of ramp there. Probably also going to be crucial for us to remember to play our removal on our turn to get as much prowess bonus as possible. And that fits under Abrade. Let's take a look and see if we can get Bombardment first.
I strive for elegance and speed.
We don't. Just counting things here. Let's take the Thrill. We're not really in need of mana. Let's Abrade that. Thrill away the Vanish. Get these extra prowess triggers going. And let's go ahead and get in. Opponent down to 10 now. With enough spells, we could threaten to take them out. Oh, there's Helana and Elena. Ew, really gotta be patient with these monks.
You're no match for my
Let's Fateful Absence over there. Prowess triggers on all of our monks, but only 2 can attack. Cycle away this garden. Depopulate. Well, that's going to be good if things go wrong, but we're really trying to finish this game with these monks that we've got. There's another Helana. Okay, well, we've got a couple of options here. We can use Charge of the Mites for its damage ability, or we could just use Jaya's one of Jaya's minus abilities. So let's get Bombardment down. We don't really need to use the mana if we want to go Jaya. Yes. And that keeps Charge of the Mites up.
Light them up.
I mean, we can just make more Mites. It's not really going to matter. All right, everybody Prowess is up, and then we pick up an Abrade anyway. But either way, as soon as we attack there, it's enough to take out Lana, and we attack for 12 here. Ooh, good game. Wow, finally a hand with 3 lands from this deck. Don't have to ask me twice. Let's get this garden going. Got a little bit of early removal here with this Abrade. Opponent looks to be on Boros, maybe Jeskai, another electrostatic infantry player. Well, rather than let that get out of hand, let's go ahead and take care of it now. I was going to say if they were control, we could get some Mites going early and make them sweat about that a little bit, but this is not control. All right, well, there's our safety valve in Depopulate here. We could charge at instant speed, but they can't block, so it doesn't really make much sense. Let's see what kind of game plan the opponent's on. Angel Fire. That's a good plan if you've got double strikers. Opponent selecting a card to connive. They got something else? Homestead Courage. Okay. So we're going to put a counter on the Swift Spear. Several Prowess triggers later. Looks like we're going to take 12 here altogether. That was the Elmer Fudd version of Prowess triggers. Let's depopulate. These are going to get out of hand. And then we're going to need to start drawing lands to make our way up to Bombardment. But we do have this second depopulate. Oh, and no follow-up from them. Okay. So we're at 7. We're not in a good spot just yet. This is fine. Really would have liked to land there, but these treasures are going to help. Infantry. All right, well, they could flashback Angel Fire and Homestead Courage. But I think we'll have to respond to that. Oh, and their last card's a Mountain. Yes. All right, let's play with fire this right now. Excellent. Everything whiffs. That goes to exile. They're left with just a Homestead Courage in the yard. They're going to need to draw a creature before they can start threatening any kind of lethal over there. So let's make some monks. Virtuoso comes down. Well, we can't do anything about it. They decide not to Courage. Let's Union here. Good. We pick up a land. Let's go ahead and make a monk. Fateful Absence on this token before they pick up something that can save it from one of our spells. Opponent goes looking with our clue token. And we will start getting in. We pick up another land. We could probably get Bombardment down. It activates the monks, and then we can make another monk. Alright, so now that's a good sign for us. Opponent having to use Play with Fire on our monk. We can get in with that. We can make another one as a blocker. I don't think they've got enough cards to haste us away from 13 life here. Oh, we got there. Good game. Bye.